Hey guys, FilthyRobot here with Arumba, continuing our EU4 campaign, where I teach Arumba how to take over England.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job at it as well.
First, you can't get those French in there. They're going to take all your land. You don't want to give them land.
Yeah. So how have you been? It's been a week for us.
I'm doing well, man. Fun stuff. I've been busy, but it's been good. How about you?
Doing pretty well. I'm very surprised coming back into this to see how much war participation we've had. We've done the lion's share of the lifting here, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We wanted to mention that we did have a little bit of an internet hiccup last week. We were going to record more, and we lost 7 minutes of footage because internet went out. So we were talking about a few things. You were upset with me because I keep changing my mind about whether or not I want to end the war. And
every time I start to think, I'm like, okay, this is the path we're taking. This is, you're like, oh, I don't want to end the war. I want to end the war. And I think you're on your like third or fourth flip flop now on what we're doing here. Like, because now you don't want to end the war again now, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit more interested in carrying it on than I was an episode or two ago. And the only real thing that's changed, right? There's a lot of variables that go into the decision. The big variable at the time that was making me want to end the war was that, number one, we're running into some money issues. The sooner we end the war, the sooner we can lower maintenance on our army completely. Which, have we already done that, actually? I think we're at half maintenance.
We did, yep.
We're at half maintenance because we're still doing a siege of London. Yep. So I figure, okay, we can lower our maintenance completely. That helps us out financially. We also can get rid of our war exhaustion by being at peace. We can also... one thing we haven't really talked about a huge amount is how autonomy works. Like, so for example, if you go click on Tyrone in Ireland, you'll notice that Tyrone has 37.1% autonomy. So it's a 37% autonomous province. And when you hover over the 37.1, it doesn't say anything other than what the effects of the autonomy are. But while you're at peace, autonomy goes down over time at a rate of 0.1% per month. So every month that you're at peace, not only are you paying less on your military, but you're also having all of the autonomy in your newly conquered land get lower. So there's
0.1% per month?
Yes, 0.1%.
It's not exactly flying down.
No, but over the course of, say, 10 years, we're talking about 12% autonomy. So, yeah, I mean, think about it like this. I'm looking at Tyrone right now. It's 11 development. 10% of 11 development is 1.1. So over the next 10 years, this one province would effectively gain one development worth of stuff if we weren't at war for those 10 years. Which, granted, we're not going to be at peace for 10 years, but just in general, that argument usually holds true for me, that being at peace when you don't have to be at war is a good thing because you are gaining development over time. So there's those factors making me want to go to peace. But now I'm kind of thinking, well, actually we could probably stay in the war a little bit longer now, because a big factor as well was that Portugal and the Papal State both were in the war. They had very high enthusiasm, and now Portugal's gone. So now we're looking at just...
Portugal, didn't we?
Yeah, because the French actually managed to do something smart down there for once. So now it's just France versus the Papal State, and that is going to be a very straight-up easy fight for him. And maybe we could get some more value out of this, but don't know.
And I mean, I can't remember if we talked about this or not, because it all starts to blend together. Like when we talked about if it was online, offline, or if it was in the lost portions of episodes or not. But I also wasn't there something to do with the fact that as we siege London, we're going to get like more participation and we can demand more for having successfully sieged London, right?
Yeah, well, because England is the war leader, his capital being occupied, actually having it completely sieged down, is going to give him tons of war exhaustion. He's already at 11.11, which is quite high. The highest you can go on war exhaustion is 20. And I'm seeing this right now, by the way, looking at the war overview, which hopefully you're familiar with now. So some of these terms, So the highest you can go is 20, and 20 war exhaustion, you can just hover over. You can see 11.12 national unrest. He is gaining lots of unrest. So there's another factor here as well, which is that he could potentially have some rebels fire soon, which would cause issues for us. But
it is kind of a weird mechanic, though, for me. Like, again, I guess approaching this from mostly Civ 5, thinking about this. We just beat this guy. We beat all of his armies.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't beat his navies. We beat all of his armies and conquered all of his land. And the end result of this is we're going to give him back 9/10 of his land and keep a little bit. And probably more like we're probably keeping 20% of his land.
Well, it's a history simulator. I mean, think about it in a historical context. If in the year 1453 Scotland conquered all of England, don't you think Europe would have an issue with that?
I don't know.
No idea. They would. There would be some serious issues with that. I mean, there were territorial disputes, but no one was just straight up annexing huge nations in one go. That doesn't happen. But
so I do like the idea. I mean, it's interesting to plan for after having totally defeated this guy. It's interesting that we're planning for, because what you're looking at with the war weariness, these are essentially infrastructure debuffs for him in the future, right? Because his war weariness won't go to 0 when the war's over, or will it?
It will go down. That's actually a very annoying but sheltered little fact. The percentage of the peace deal that you take will reduce his war exhaustion by that percentage. So if you do a 100% peace deal, he will lose 100% of his war exhaustion.
Oh, okay.
If you do a 50%, he'll lose 50%.
So I was thinking that part of what you were thinking about was if you drive this up higher and then you piece him, what's going to happen for the next couple years as he recovers, he's still going to have all these negative buffs, and that's going to make him weaker for the next time that we go and attack him. But you're saying if we take a really favorable peace deal where we use up all of the percentages that we can for our peace deal stuff, that it's not going to do that at all. He's gonna be back to just being A-okay. He's not even going to know he's at war. He's not even going to know he lost the war. He's not going to care.
Yeah. Well, there's an argument. There's an argument for, well, he's gonna have to rebuild his army, so there's still a lot of expense there. Plus, he's in debt. He's got some loans.
Yeah.
But
can we buy his loans?
No. There are sometimes situational arguments for actually white piecing your rival after winning a huge war. Get them to 20 war exhaustion, then white piece them so they keep all of that war exhaustion, and you can cause them to completely implode. But
yeah,
let's not do anything like that. Let's just keep it simple. So,
it's been very simple so far. I imagine adding that would be too complex. That would be the straw, huh?
Yeah. I'm looking at a potential peace deal right now. I know. I can't.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You can't now be looking at a peace deal. After the whole talk about... No.
Well, I'm looking at what a peace deal look like right now. I'm kind of tempted at the moment, if possible, to try to separate... Oh, we already did. We already separate peaced Kildare, didn't we? Okay, good. And we made him annul his alliance with England? Did we? We did not.
Don't recall that.
We should have. Why didn't we do that?
I think my advisor didn't suggest it.
By that you mean me, I assume?
Of course, if anything goes wrong, we're going to blame you, Arumba.
Okay, here's my final thought, and we do have to make the actual decision about whether to continue or end the war. Mm-hmm. If we siege London's going to take a very, very long time. It's a level 3 coastal fort. We have no access to a navy that can blockade it. So we're talking about -5 penalty. Right now, we only have a 36% chance of actually making progress on our siege. So that means that 65% of the time, roughly, when we do these monthly ticks, nothing's going to even change. We're not going to make progress. Granted, as we start making progress, it'll get faster, but we're probably looking at a 1 to 3 year long siege, depending on luck. Yeah. And that's a very, very long time to just be sitting at war. The other thing is that, yes, France can beat the Papal State, but if he does that for us, he's going to be fighting battles while we're not, so his participation is going to go up, which means we're going to have to give him more land. So I'm actually leaning now towards ending the war.
Okay, and now the question, and I don't want to repeat the jokes that we made in the last part of the episode here, but if I were to walk away from the computer for like 2 minutes here, let's say I just had to go get myself another cup of tea, would you change your mind again when I came back?
No, I think no. I'm pretty...
So you've come down on the side of ending the war now.
Yeah, I'm like 90% convinced this is the right thing to do. So let's go ahead and open up the peace deal interface, and let's just talk about what would go into this actual peace deal, because it's a lot more complex now.
Am I negotiating with England in particular,
yes.
Or are you just... Okay.
Yep.
So I click on England here to do this?
Yeah, you can actually just right-click on the little war overview thing instead of left-clicking to open up the war overview itself. Right-click to go to the peace deal. As long as you have a diplomat free, it'll take you right to the peace deal with that person.
Okay.
So we're not going to be able to separate peace the Papal State, because we have no individual war score with them, and their enthusiasm is too high. But that doesn't really matter. We don't care too much about the Pope. So we have to talk about this because it's different than it was in our previous wars, where it was just a one-province minor, one-on-one, we killed them, we annexed them, done.
Okay.
So let's say, go ahead and click on like those 4 provinces in the northern part of England. Cumbria, Northumberland, Yorkshire, and Lancashire. So England would accept this peace deal right now. He would give us the 4 provinces that we got the claims on from the original mission that we took. It's a 52 peace offer value war score, peace offer value peace deal. But notice on the left-hand side of the banner of the interface, there's a little red thumbs down next to the French flag.
Yeah.
And if you hover over that, France has given fewer provinces than they expect from their 40% war contribution, reducing their trust by 20. Their trust, you can find it, close the peace deal interface, it'll remember what you had. go right-click on France, and then the diplomatic feedback tab at the top of the diplomatic interactions, shortcut key D, you can see that French have a value of 50 trust with us right now. Trust is a measure of this strength.
This wasn't one of the ones that we were we adding to trust when we had our diplomats in there, or was that adding to something else? What were we were raising our ratings with people, but this was not trust, or was trust?
We were raising their opinion.
Okay.
They have 200 opinion of us right now. Trust is a mechanic that was added in a DLC, and when you're allied to someone over time, you accrue favors. And the favors can be used to purchase either a bump in your trust of 5 points. There's a button in the bottom left-hand corner. It says you need at least 10 favors to increase French trust. You also gain trust when they call you into a war and you help them. You lose trust if you do things that you're not supposed to. It decreases. It says right in the tooltip. It decreases if we break promises or otherwise act dishonorably. It can be increased by spending favors. It will increase with time.
20 trust is quite a lot.
20 trust means, there's a very important breakpoint. If their trust falls below 40, they will break their alliance no matter what. So we can't afford to take the 4 provinces because France would hate us for that. Well, we could do it, but there would be consequences for doing it. So instead of taking those 4 provinces, let's back off and say maybe we don't take Yorkshire, and let's see what provinces we could offer France that he would like.
How do we... So I've unclicked Yorkshire, so I see that now. This is a 35 value peace offer.
Yep.
How do I give a province to France out of this peace deal?
Now, scrolling through this list, you'll see that there are province names, overextension value, war score cost value, diplo point cost value, prestige, etc. Notice how most of them have a little yellow flag next to them. Cumbria, Gwynedd, Norfolk. That's our flag.
Okay.
As you go further down, at
so
the very bottom, you'll see 3 that have the French flag. And the reason why...
Sort by French flag?
Yes, sort by receiver. At the little, it's the column to the farthest left. It's like a little...
Got it. Yep.
Yeah. So, the reason why France...
they're expensive, though. Damn.
Yeah, they are. The reason why the French have those is because they occupy them. Again, while you're looking at the screen, like the actual map itself, you can see like the French occupy Normandy. Since we don't occupy Gascony or Labourd, it's just presumed that it would go to France because they have core on it and stuff. So we can offer them Normandy, Gascony, or Caen. And
all right, so we could get 3 of the 4 that we wanted and give French Caen, and the French are okay with that.
Yep, and then you notice we have actually a little plus favor. It says the little plus, the green thumbs up. They're actually giving more. I don't see a green
thumbs up right now.
Well, select Co, whatever it's pronounced. Okay. While you have it select, you have a 52 piece offer, and then you should see on the left-hand side now that the French have a green thumbs up.
My offer says 54.
Okay.
I have Yorkshire, Cumbria, Northumberland, and Caen selected.
You have Yorkshire. So which one did you unselect for us?
Lancashire.
Okay, switch that for Yorkshire.
Okay, now it has a green thumb.
Yeah. Now when you hover over it, because you're giving them more than their contribution, you actually gain favors. Again, not trust. You gain favors. And the ratio is 10 favors buys you 5 trust.
But we didn't actually give them anything more for this. Because we're actually taking, and they're still getting Caen either way.
Yeah, but we're taking relatively less because Yorkshire is it's a more expensive province than Lancashire.
Okay. So do we value? I mean, it's probably it's probably a better province if it's rated as a higher value, right?
Well, it's got, click on those provinces, you can actually see Yorkshire's 16 development while Lancashire's 13.
Right, so it is literally a better fucking... So why do we care about how do I... If I'm looking at this peace deal, the thing that says to me is, how much do I value this favor versus how much do I value a more developed province?
Oh, we definitely want to value the other province. The only reason I was mentioning is I just want to illustrate how that little green thumbs up changes. Okay. So that people who are watching this campaign at home will know, like, how do I interact with my AI allies, and what kind of feedback am I getting from them on my decision here?
I see. Okay.
So if we took Lancashire, this is very interesting to me. If we took all 4 of those provinces, France isn't even upset about it. England won't accept anymore. It's a 69 peace offer value. He won't accept by -20 reasons. But the French don't get upset, so that's kind of tempting.
You're going to flip-flop again, aren't you?
I might be willing to be persuaded.
Did we just hit the 10% is what just happened? You're recalculating. I see.
Mhm,
You know, have you ever driven with like one of the like before the cell phones, they had the Garmin style stuff.
Yeah,
it's for navigating in real life. Yeah.
I still have one of those. Why would you use a cell phone? Why would you drain your cell phone battery when you've got a device that's specific for that?
Why wouldn't you plug your cell phone into your car? Anyways, but we won't diverge down how you want to use outdated technology because you don't like to update. We won't go down that path today. But in that case, this is what needs to happen. I think you need to verbally say this out loud every time you flip flop, and I would just like you to say recalculating, and then you can tell me what's going on here. So.
Oh
right.
Man. Yeah, I like the idea though. One favor is worth almost nothing to me. Getting another whole extra 13 development province is really good. And if the French aren't going to get upset about it, then by all means, I would almost even be willing to take more land and actually piss them off a little bit while keeping their trust above 40. But for now, let's just play it safe and not lose any trust at all.
Okay, so here's the question that comes to my mind then. We're worried about the French. If the French increase their war score, their participation in the war relative to our participation, they're going to want more, right?
Yes.
So this value may not hold true if we let this go much longer and they are fighting the Papal State all the time, right?
That's true.
So what we need to worry about then is, or what I want to know is, how do we it doesn't look like it's all that much more. It's only 9% more war score or not 9, 10% more war score to go from 59 to 69, so we can get all 4 of the ones we want and give the French something, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, hover over the red X to see specifically why England won't say yes right now.
Okay.
And you can see a whole list of values, the greens and the reds, why they're willing or unwilling to do it. And some of these are going to change every month. For example, the English war exhaustion is going up because we have them almost fully occupied. Relative strength of the alliance should go up because France has their army back at home. They've recently fought against Portugal. Their army's reinforcing. So relative strength of the alliance should go more in our favor over time. The length of war will come in a favorable direction for us. The longer the war goes, the more every AI wants to peace out. They don't like long wars. So length of war currently is negative 21 reasons for peace. Next month, it's going to be negative 20. So demands exceed war score.
So that means maximum right now, maximum length of this. If only that was because that's the only value you've given me right now. The one that changes per month is length of war. So if we know that goes up by 1, this is maximum of 10 more months.
Well, there's no. There's more than just that. Length of war is going to go up by 1 for sure. English war exhaustion is going to go up because they're occupied. Demands exceed war score is going to go in a favorable direction for us again because we're asking for a 69 peace offer, a 69 value peace offer when we only have 59 war score.
Why is this not just the difference between these two values? So this is actually an additional modifier. It's not just like you need 10 more points to make that 0. They're at minus 12 for this. So they're particularly annoyed. They're more annoyed than the difference in the deal for us demanding more.
Yeah, the further it is from the actual peace offer, the more there's an exponential increase in unlikeliness or unwillingness to do it. Now, there's one other modifier in here that's going to go away eventually, and I don't even know why it's on here. England is making gains, which is horseshit, by the way. But yeah, they for whatever reason they think they're making gains right now, which is just not true. So we definitely don't want to take the peace deal. Why they think they're making gains? Let's wait at least 2 months, and let's just go ahead and unpause. We've been talking for 20 minutes already. No. We got to unpause. There we go. We've gone 4 whole days. Now let's reevaluate. Let's go take a look.
Yeah. Okay. Recalculating.
Now
if we go over here in pale. So one of the things I saw in there is we had a positive green modifier for sieges and occupied. Are those valued equally? If we're sieging, is that the same value as occupying an area, or is it more value to be sieging? For example, Pale over there is not being sieged, and it feels like we could put a pretty small number of troops in there to actually siege Pale, right?
Having any unit counts as occupied and besieged.
Okay, so that is the same value. Besieged and occupied, same value.
Yeah, if it were actually occupied, if we actually completed the siege, we would get more war score.
But not actively sieging something.
Right, actually having like 6 troops there or 4 troops there instead of 1 wouldn't make any difference right now.
Okay.
So we're just looking now. By the way, now we have negative 18 reasons for peace instead of negative 20. So we've already made some progress. And I'm pretty sure that once this England is making gains thing goes away, he's going to be willing to give us that extra province. So let's just go another month. I do apologize to the viewers at home who are like, why have you guys been talking for 20 minutes and only played for 4 days?
I don't apologize for that. This was important discussion. This is a lot of learning for me right there.
Yeah, but it's the first episode of the week for us, and we always do this. So let's just get used to it.
Well, that's good for them then, because it's not. I mean, that's only once a week. I guess we record in spots of 7, but we don't always. So it's not always going to be once a week for them. It will be less than once a week.
Okay, now look. Now France has that province occupied, and now we have -9 reasons for peace, and we haven't even ended this month yet. France just ended their siege of Caen. They just actually finished it. We have a little bit more war score from occupation. I think we're seriously looking at maybe January 1st. We'll be able to take this peace deal.
That probably sounds like something we'll have to do next session.
Well, let's at least see what happens in December, and then we'll decide. We're at -9 reasons still. You are not making gains, England. Stop saying that. Anyway. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I mean, they are. I mean, this is just, maybe they're just looking at rate of change. Whereas the last couple months of this war, we were stomping the living piss out of them. Now, we're not there's no more to stomp. So, like, they're doing better than they were the months before because they weren't losing territory every single moment here.
Well, what it could be is that because Portugal peaced out and we had Ceuta occupied, we had war score from that occupation. And when they left the war, we lost war score occupation. So there's a slight increase in their position. It should go away usually within 2 or 3 months. So,
all right.
Okay, yeah, let's take a break here, and we'll end the peace deal or end this war in the next episode. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Probably.
See you next time.
See you soon.